on the second day, we got in there early, and one of the guys we wanted to meet was Josh Sagara, who, as you guys know, is Prometheus in Arrow. He's always one of the most popular guests, and when I talk about why, you'll understand, because last year he was just like one of the surprise factors. Like, he was so cool to meet. So I was like, well, naturally I want to again this year, but I didn't have anything to get signed. So, being a pop collector, I thought, I'll get a custom pop made. Never done it before. I went with a company called Pop Goes the Vinyl. It's a married couple called Rob and Laura, and they are like the most nicest people ever. They're just avid pop collectors too, them wanting to do something fun. I cannot fault them for this pop I'm about to show you now. So obviously Josh played Prometheus, Adrian chasing Arrow, so I thought, you know what? Let me get a Prometheus pop custom. And look at that bad boy. That's the pop right there. And they did the whole box as well, which is custom. So they got the glam there. Picture Prometheus on the back. And then I got Josh to sign it, and he was so cool because he was like, dude, that's freaking awesome, bro. And then he signed this on the side from one bad guy to another. And then he signed it on the front. And what was cool, because like, there was another custom pop someone had given him, but he saw that one and he was like, nah bro, he said, that right there, that's awesome. Because the other one wasn't the right colour scheme, but he said, that is me. And at one point he tried to freaking run off of it. I was like, dude, come back, that's my pop. And he was like, oh, okay. And then I got some selfies of him as well, which was cool. So what was cool, like, I asked him, could I get him pictures of him signing the pop to show, like Rob and Laura? He was like, yeah bro, sure. He said, go ahead. So that's him signing the pop. I didn't realise how much of a massive nerd this guy was as well. And then I got some selfies of him just because you have to. Just because he's got such charisma and he's just never a letdown. He's like one of those friends that you only ever see once a year, but every time you see him, he's always worth it. Just because like he proper talks to every fan. And we had a massive nerd out because I showed him the pop. And then we were just like, oh man, it's just like so cool you're back. And he was like, bro, I love coming back. He said, you guys are the best. And he said the fact that you'll still support him even though he's not on the show anymore, spoiler alert, he was like, that meant a lot to him. And then obviously I showed him the pop and he was just freaking the hell out. So that was awesome as well. Then obviously he got a selfie and he like gave me a hug and he was just like, keep it real sort of thing. He was definitely up there in my top 3 that weekend. Cannot fault the guy at all. So I was like, yes Josh, you are epic. So that was one of the first things I did Sunday. And then I had a photo op with Talia Ricci. She was my Supergirl or the Silver Banshee. I didn't get a chance to meet her properly last year, so I was like, I'm getting a photo of her this year. And she's just like absolutely stunning. Safe to say she's a goddess. But yeah, I feel like a bit of a troll next to her, but I was just like, I have to meet her. And then I went to her table to meet both her and Robbie. Obviously Robbie I met last year, but I didn't have enough to meet her as well. So this year I got a combined combo to meet both of them. So I'll show you what I got signed by Robbie. I was organised, not anymore. If any of you guys know, Robbie and Stephen have got the Kodak project they're working on, which is like a sci-fi thriller film coming out. And I contributed a lot to the campaign, so one of the things I got was this poster, which is of Robbie's character. And there's a picture of Sun Kung on there, who's also in it. And his character's name's Connor. And then I went up to him and he got to sign it as well. So he put Ben, your friend, Robbie, Connor. And what was cool for him as well, he hadn't seen like people have these posters to sign yet, and he was like, oh man, I've not seen this yet. And then he showed it to Talia and she was like, oh, that's so cool. So it was kind of cool for him to sort of see the perks that they distributed for the campaign, to like actually see one up close. And then he was just proper for a while looking at it, just studying it, and I was like, that's pretty cool, the fact that he hadn't seen it. And I think I was the first fan that showed him that. So he was like, oh man, this is a cool poster. Where's my elastic band gone? Yeah, and then I was talking to Robbie a while about obviously Code 8, and obviously about Arc and the Flash, and then just how the progress of Code 8 was going. And he said he'd seen one cut of it and it's looking pretty awesome, so I was like, oh, I cannot wait to see that. And then I talked to Talia about like Supergirl and also about Designated Survivor, which got cancelled, which I was gutted about. But she was like, there may be hopes of it getting revived, so don't be too disheartened. So I was like, may see a season 3, which would be pretty sweet. And then because I bought the autograph and selfie package, they even gave me an extra autograph for free, which was cool. So I got that one of Robbie as Firestorm from Flash, you sign that. And I got that one of Italia. And she was All My Love. So that was awesome. And obviously she's at my photo op as well. And then I was like, I'm gonna get some selfies with them as well. Yeah, so I got a selfie with both of them. And then took another one. And then Robbie took one with me and him. I got a few of him. And I got one of Italia. Of all the celebrity couples, they're hands down the nice celebrity couple, because like they are so down to earth. They want to talk to every fan and they make sure you get a really good experience with them. So it's more than just a meet and greet essentially. They proper talk to you, take the time out, and they're just lovely people. Like I'd happily go meet them again just because they're just really nice to talk to as well. So Robbie and Tally were definitely up there on my guests I've met the weekend. They were just really, really nice people. And then my next photo op was Guardian himself, Jimmy Olsen, McCab Brooks, who is an absolute tank. I didn't realise how tall the guy was. And I was like, can we do a Guardian pose? He was like, yeah man. So done a Guardian pose. I didn't get to meet him, sadly, because I ran out of time basically trying to meet other guests, but he was cool in the photo ops. So if I go back next year, I'll meet him again. So he was a really awesome guy. And that was it. As I said, I met Katie lots on Saturday, so I got a solo photo op with her and just got a hug with her. And I was like, that's the best. It's a cute photo. She's so lovely. And I was just like, can I get a hug? She's like, yeah, sure. So there we go. Cherish that one for show. Just a nice photo with her. And then I got a photo op with Danielle Panabaker, Caitlin Snow, Killer Frost, depending on how far you want to flash. She was lovely as well. She was only like sort of, well there was 2 current Flash guests there, but she was one of the main ones. And I was like trying to meet her at a table all weekend. So as soon as I got that taken, I ran back down to her autograph table. And I got a Caitlin autograph and she was like, best wishes, Danielle Panabaker. And I was just saying to her, I was like, what is it with you guys in season finales? And she was like, what do you mean? I said, well, last year with Saboteur and I had this one. I was like, you like to leave us on the edge? She went, make sure you guys come back. I'm like, yeah, damn straight. And then I got some selfies of her as well. Yeah, so that's one with her. And that's the other one with her. She was so lovely as well. Because I think she was a little bit shy at first, but she sort of really came out herself in the photo ops as well. She was just really friendly and talk to, really lovely. Couldn't fault her at all. She's just so nice to talk to. And I said, like, you know, thanks for coming to London and good luck filming the new season. Met her, walked off, big smile on my face. I was like, yay! I met Danielle, so she was lovely. Next up, I had a duo photo op with my friend Lucy, with Stephen and Josh. Now, the idea with the duos is you want to make, obviously, you want a nice photo, but you want to do something memorable. So I had this idea that Stephen whispered in my ear, I looked absolutely shocked, and then Josh, Lee and Lucy like, what are these guys doing? Are you ready for this? That's the end result. I mean, just look at my face and Stephen. We're proper like, he's proper telling me some weird stuff and I'm like, oh my god. And then across the pond, Josh and Lucy are like, look at these guys. I couldn't have asked for a better photo because as soon as we printed it up, we were just laughing our asses off because that to me is a priceless memory. Just because like, I generally looked scared, whatever Stephen was saying. And they're just like, look at these guys. I think Josh's face kills it as well. That was sick. But that was one of my favourite photo ops. And then as soon as like we done, Stephen was like, that was a really cool pose, man. Great idea. Shook my hand and walked off. And I was like, So that's definitely one of my favourite photos of the weekend. And then the last one I had of the weekend, it was a Legends of Tomorrow cast up. So that was with Brandon Routh, John Barrowman, Franz Drammer and Katie Lotz. Lucy got one on the Saturday and oh my god, it was the best photo I'd ever seen. So I was like, I wonder if I can do something just as good. So I went up to said hi to him, said, guys, can we do a really weird photo? And John Barrowman was like, yeah, sure, man. That's the end result. I mean, you got Brendan Ruth that's like, me putting a weird face. You got John Barrowman doing like some weird face. I think Franz wins the best pose though, look at that. That's just brilliant. And then Katie's just all cool. But man, that's gotta be one of the best photo ops I've had. Just because looking at it, it's just ridiculous. It's just the most weirdest photo, but they were so up for it. And it's not often John Barrowman doesn't win a facial posing photo ops, but Franz definitely takes the crown on that one. So they were just cooling down for everything. So that is one of my highlight photo ops for sure. And then before the Legends photo op, I went to meet Franz at his table. Obviously, he played Firestorm in Legends. So I was like, well, I want to get my Firestorm pop sign. So he's put to Ben, big love, France. I know the guy was English, so he's a proper Cockney as well, but he was really cool, just chill, enjoyed being there with the fans and stuff. And then that was the result of the pop sign. So I pretty much got every pop sign I wanted to get signed, which was, for me, was a record because I didn't think I was going to do it based on how busy it was. So yeah, that was all my autographs and photos, and then I got to attend some of the panels as well, which was cool. I've got another video where it's like a montage of the weekend, and there's actually footage of the actual panels in there. So there's an Arrowverse panel, which was Josh Segarra, Katie Cassidy and Kirk Achivado, who's Diaz. I don't know if that's how you say his name, apologies. And they were just talking about playing the villain on the show. So I've got some of that. I then saw, on Saturday, it was that Arrow Heroes panel, which was David Ramsey, Emily Rickards and Juliana Hargreaves. That was one of the best panels because it overran just because they didn't want to leave because there was a lot of fan questions. And they were like, nah, just one more. And they went to moderator, nah, just one more, which is pretty awesome. And like, one thing I took away was like David Ramsey was just saying like, without us, there would be no show. And they were just, all three of them were so thankful that we've stuck through them all these years for Arrow. So that was pretty awesome, the fact that literally this convention is for the fans and they want to make sure you have an experience. So that was just so good. And then I saw part of John Barrowman's panel. It's not really a panel with him, it's more like a show, because he walked on dressed in a Wonder Woman outfit, which for John Barrowman you can expect, because last year he wore like a TARDIS dress, so he was like, okay. And then he like was just talking about, obviously Heroes Events, he says is the best convention in the UK. I think it's the best convention, end of, just because of the organisation, the guests, lineups, everything about it. And then he was talking about some experiences he's had with fans and stuff that's gone on social media. So that was pretty awesome to watch. I also watched part of Stephen Amell's Green Arrow panel. He was just talking about the current season, going into season 7, what we can expect, and then talking about meeting everyone at the show. He was a trooper. Definite trooper. And then Aisha Tyler, who voices like Lana in Archer, she moderated the panel, and that was like a little comedy act between the two, and that's pretty dope. On the Saturday, I got to see the Riverdale panel with Camila Mendes and Marisol Nichols. That was a pretty awesome panel. It's like Riverdale I think it's become like one of those cult shows just because it's got everything involved in it. It's like a comedy, romance, thriller, and there's really story driven. Because when I first watched Riverdale, I was like, oh man, I'm not sure I like this, and then I stuck with it and I was like, oh, okay, this is pretty dope. And season 2 was just like blew wide open, and it was cool, like them talking about the show, like how it's got to this point and what we can expect going to season 3. We had some more fan questions, which is pretty awesome as well. So I caught some of that panel, which I managed to get some footage of as well. And then I caught some of Legends of Tomorrow panel, which is one of the last ones on Sunday. So it was Brandon Routh, Katie Lotz and Franz again, and they were just talking about the current season, crossover, which was insane, going into the next season. And then like Katie talked about the whole She Authority thing. And then she done some weird, cool like breakdance on stage, so that was pretty awesome to see. And then Brandon had to run off and do photos. He was like, we was on time, but someone just took the cake a bit. And that's referring to John Barrowman and the Torture panel, because that overrun. So that was a bit of balance between the guests, which was sick. And then as I was queuing for my last photo, I saw some of the Supergirl panel, which was Maquette Brooks, Tyler Loughlin, Superman, and Natalia Ricci. So that was a cool panel. And they were talking about experiences on the show, and Maquette was talking about playing Jimmy Olsen, so that was really awesome. Each of the panels were like 30-40 minutes, but some of the main panels overran just because like people really wanted to ask questions and the guests were having a good time up there, which is all you could ask for. Because the way it worked this year, last year photo ops and panel was on the floor, but this year you go up to the second floor and you had the photo ops on one side and the live panel stage on the other. So if you were queuing for a photo op, you could actually watch the panels as well, which was really cool. It did make it a bit hard to hear if there was any last calls for photos, but some of the panels I got to watch from the photo queue, because usually you queue up half an hour before your time, just so you're in line. So it was kind of cool actually, not just standing there twiddling your thumbs doing this, but you got to watch the panels as well. So that was pretty awesome. And then you had like guests on the bottom and the top floor. So bottom floor, it was like Stephen Amell, David Ramsey, John Barrowman. Then you had the Torchwood guests, which backed onto the Gotham guests. And then on the far side, it was Juliana Hargreaves, Josh Segarra, Kirk Achivado, and then you had Robbie and Natalia next to him. Then there was like a gap. Then it was Tyler, McCad, Katie Cassidy, and then after them it was Danielle and Hartley Sawyer, who was played Ralph Dibney in Flash. Oh yeah, I forgot actually. I met him. Sorry. So I knew I forgot something. Yeah, so me and Sasha, like, I wish I got an autograph from him now, because he was quite a really surprising guest for me as well. But we went out to him and we got some selfies of him. Very cool guy. Quite tall as well. But I said to him, like, you know, I thought he was one of the best things about Flash season 4, and I said I'm really glad that, you know, he came to the show, and then talked about how he's enjoying London and that, and he was like, you guys are crazy. He's like, you fans are crazy over here. He said, but it was awesome. He was like, my face hurts from smiling so much. So that was pretty cool to see. And then we got a selfie of him, shook his hand and walked off. Because like, I didn't know what to expect of him, because I don't think he's done a convention before, or at least not over here, he's not. But he was a really awesome guy. He's fucking tall. I was like, why are all these dudes so strapping and I'm like down here? So he was like on the far bit, and then as you go upstairs, which is where the photo ops and the panels were, so as you walk up and sort of go right, you had Franz was there, then K-Lots, then Brandon Routh, so you had all the legends together, and then next to him was 2 of the gifted guests, so that was Blair Redford and Emma Dumont, and then next to them was Camila Mendez, Marisol Nichols and Aisha Taylor, and then the far corner on her own was Emily Bett-Rickards. Don't know why she was on her own, but she had a bit up there. And then as you walk through to the photo op bit, you had obviously the booth of the photos and the panel, and there was like some archery store up there so you could have a go at the archery. I remember walking past and seeing Stephen doing it at one point, which was cool. Like, he was helping a fan do it. He's just like that, and he was like, that's pretty awesome. And then you had like all your vendors there, so you had like stuff you could buy from. There's like a bucking bronco there, so the thing where you sit on and go around, try and stay on, that was there, so that's pretty cool. They're trying to bring a lot of new stuff this year as well. But there's definitely more vendors there, so you could buy pops, stuff for signing, autograph protectors, posters, art prints from some of the artists. Like Brian C. Roll was there, Odyssey Art, he was there. Naturally, I bought some stuff from him, just cause. Yeah, so obviously I'm a fan of Brian's art as well, so I bought some prints from him. So the first one was like a limited edition London one, which had all the guests there. So the top is Gifted, with McCad and Natalia Ricci's character. I think that's the Gifted. Tyler, yeah, that's Tyler there. And you had like Arrowverse, you got John Barrowman, Josh Segarra, David Ramsey, Caitlin Snow, Robbie Amell. And you got Robin Lord Taylor's Oswald, Cobblepot from Gotham, K-Dots and Firestorm, Brendan Routh, then you got Juliana, K.E., Emily, and then slap bang in the middle was Stephen Amell. So that was a cool print, so I had to buy that just because I thought that was dope. And the next one I bought is called the Core 4. I remember seeing this on his Facebook and I was like, I need that. So you got Supergirl, Flash, Green Arrow, White Canary. I just thought that was such a dope art piece. That's going straight on my wall, that. I saw it and I fell in love with it. I was like, right, I need this. So I bought that one as well. This one I bought and I wish I got it signed now by Stephen and Josh. So it's like Green Arrow goes to Prometheus. That was just such an awesome piece. And I was like, why did I not get that signed? But maybe I'll take it next year if I go. I'll get that signed. I just thought that was a cool piece to own. So that's a limited edition one as well. It's in the top corner. Here's a Villains exclusive. There was only 50 of these he bought. So that was dope. And the last one I bought was called The New Crew, which is an Arrow piece. So it's Green Arrow in the middle with all the new teams. So you got Mr. Terrific, Wild Dog, new Black Canary, and then all the costumes at the bottom. That was just a sick piece to own. I saw it again at, I think it was on one of the Facebook pages or Instagram feeds for one of the American versions of the show. I was like, I need that. Let's call that. And a little souvenir I got. It's got freaking creased. Just the event poster. So that's Heroes and Villains, London 2018, Olympia, London. And then it's got Danielle, Stephen and Tyler on there. It's pretty awesome. Yeah, that's pretty much everything I managed to do across the 2 days. Having that VIP pass helps. It is a massive lifesaver because you can do it on GA, but the thing with general entry, you will find you will be waiting a long time, which if you only plan to meet a few guests is fine, but for someone like me, well, wants to meet pretty much most of the main players there, the VIP helps you because obviously you've got Platinum, Gold, VIP, General Entry. They've changed it slightly this year though, so with Platinum and Gold you can only use the priority queuing once per guest. So if you want to go back for multiple autographs, you'd have to queue as normal. VIP, there wasn't a restriction on, which I was worried about, because I thought if they do that, it makes that pass a bit pointless. So for me, I think the VIP is really great value for money. So if you ever do go, I would recommend watching that for the buy one get one free deals they do, because we got VIP pass the weekend for the cost of one, so it was like £90 for 2 passes essentially. So that is definitely something I recommend doing. And then obviously the photo ops, they didn't actually sell the event this year, which I think was to avoid congestion, because I do remember last year the ops were sort of on one side with the actual lanes to queue up, and it was causing congestion. So I think the reason they didn't sell them this year was to avoid that again. So they cut them off. It was like 1 o'clock on the Friday before the show. I bought a last minute op with McCad and then collected it at Willcall. With Willcall, I do recommend doing it before the show if you can, just because you don't want to, if you've got an early photo op or you want to get in early, you don't want to get stuck queuing for your passes and that. It can be a bit of a pain in the arse, the Willcall side of it, but I personally think it's good, because at least when you've got your passes and your vouchers for your photos, as soon as that door opens you go straight in. So if you ever do go, I'd highly recommend doing Willcall before the show. You can do it during or get there early, but chances are everyone's going to do it as well. When we walked in, we got a little scope of the place, so we sort of walked around once to see where people were, where stalls were, ATMs in there, and then we went upstairs to see where the guests were, photo up some panels we found, so that was cool. Always good to do a little sweep of the venue so you know where you are, get your bearings. Overall, it topped last year. I didn't think that was going to be possible, because last year was just freaking amazing, but this year, freaking wow. I mean, I'm really bummed out it's over now, because that first day went like that, and then next thing I knew, I was coming home last night. I got in really late last night and I was like, Con Blues, it's hit me. So today I've been feeling a bit bummed because it's over. But obviously I've got the memories, I've got the photos to look at. I still think that Heroes and Villains is the best convention. Yes, it is a bit more expensive, and yes, you need to have a lot of money saved if you want photos or autographs, but the experience you get out of it and the memories you make, I just think you can't put a price on it. And like I said, my favourite guest was David Ramsey, Katie Lotz, Josh Segara, Stephen Amell, and then Robbie Amell and Natalia Ricci. Those are the ones that stood out for me, just because I had such great experiences with them, and I hope they come back again next year, just because like there is like stuff, some of the photos I'd like to get signed, or I'd maybe get a poster for one of the shows to start that off. I mean, Stephen and John Barron will always be there because they sort of co-run the event together, so you guarantee they'll be back, but in terms of the others, you never know. I'd love Josh Segara to come back, David Ramsey to come back, Katie Lotz, because I think it'd be awesome to meet them again and like maybe do different photos with them next year. So overall, I highly recommend the convention. I'm still buzzing off of it now. I mean, I look half dead because it's really hot, hence why I'm wearing a beanie, just to hide the fact I look like shit, and I'm still really tired from it. But it's like a good tired, knowing the fact I had such a brilliant weekend, so cannot fault it at all. I'm just gonna have to relive the memories through photos and the videos I took, and obviously all my photos and that I'm gonna put up on the wall eventually. Cannot stress enough, Heroes of Villains Fan Fest London, year 2. Absolutely incredible weekend, cannot fault it at all. Everything ran smoothly. The worst part was just queuing for some of the guests, but naturally that's going to happen anywhere, like the big guests like Stephen Amell and David Ramsey. The long point of it is once you've met them, you have the biggest smile on your face, walk away like, yeah, I've just met my idols. Because meeting people you look up to and admire, I think that's, you can't put a price on that, especially when they live up to it or they go a bit further as well. What more could you ask for? So yeah, that was just my roundup of Heroes of Villains Fan Fest 2018 London. Absolutely incredible weekend. If you like this video, guys, or you have any questions about the event itself, feel free to drop a comment on the video and I'll be able to share some advice with you. This is my second one now, but I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope it was insightful for those who've never done one before. And like I said, if you got any questions, just feel free to hit me a message or drop a comment below. Thanks for watching this video, guys. Appreciate it as always. If you do like the video, feel free to like and subscribe down below and stay tuned for more convention coverage, and I shall catch you guys on the next video.